We need to focus now on the data entry again. So let's go there. And from here, we're going to classify these items accordingly into this statement. So in order to do that, let's declare a constant, which will be the text of the sheet data entry. We may change it later on, so just to have a reference for that, it's going to be data entry. Now, at the same time, we need to declare a counter in order to count how many transactions we are going to evaluate. So we are going to do that by declaring dim counter transactions as long, and the total variable for that, so dim total transactions as long. They will be given by counting how many transactions are here. So the total will be equal to total transactions will be equal to the cells where the row that count is and the column transaction is, counting from the bottom to the top. So the logic behind this is something like this. It's going to count how many transactions are here until the last row of data, going all the interactions from here until here. And we need to declare a constant for this because this column may change over time. So this is going to be a constant for that variable as long. And the column for the G, let's find it out. So column, it's the column number 7. So just let's do that. And there we go. This is going to give us how many transactions does it have to do there, beginning from the row number 5. So we need to declare that as in the counter transactions logic later on. Let's start with the logic for that. So it's going to be for counter transaction equals 5. This is again because the row, it's starting on the row number 5. 2 total rows, total transactions, sorry. And before I forget, this total transactions is based on the sheets text sheet data entry. So it's going to be like that. And as well, all our operations are going to be performed in this sheet. So we may do it like this with sheets and then end with, and then let's close our counter, next counter transaction. So here it's going to be the logic for our purposes. That being said, let's start. So let's do cells, and it's going to be the row. The row it's going to be equal to our counter that we are calculating. So it's going to be counter transaction, and the column it's going to be the column transaction. We need to subtract 2 columns from this because it's going to start actually on the column number D. So it has to be 7, 1, 2, actually 3. So it has to be -3. That value. And we need to set a dot before in order to say that it's going to be on the sheets that we are working on. Should work like that, but this is not following our standardization principle. So let's rename it as call transaction. There we go. Here we need to store three kind of arrays. One, it's going to be what transaction it is. The second one will be the transaction name itself. And finally, the amount for the transaction. For that, we're going to declare three array types. So one, it's going to be the array from text of the transaction type. As string. The second one will be transaction name. And the third one will be the number. Transaction amount. And this is going to be as double. Now back to our logic. We're going to define the value for those arrays. It's going to be with the following function: redeem preserve the array of the text transaction type based on the counter transactions less 4. So it's start in 1. And we're pretty much going to copy this for every array that we have to. We have the type, we have the name, and we have the amount. And for this, we're going to make those values get into the array with the following logic. We're going to copy this, the value at that point should be equal to this, and it's basically the same thing for the other ones, just on the columns that they belong to. So this is -3, the transaction type. Our transaction name is our original column. We need to change this so it's no longer -3 value, and we're going to do the same for the for the amount. So this is array num transaction number amount, sorry, and for this it's located on the column O, right? So we're going to get the column number from there. It says it's 15. So from 7 to 15 we need to sum up 8 units. That's going to fix this. And there we go. With this logic, we are going to starting to write up into this template the transactions as needed. Okay guys, as always, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more awesome tutorials and be sure to like and comment this. See ya!